While I was delivering my first child, I heard the doctor whisper. I didn't expect that. I was already completely exhausted from 22 hours of absolutely brutal labor when those terrifying words made my blood freeze solid. The doctor was staring at something between my legs with this completely baffled expression, like he'd just discovered actual aliens had invaded the delivery room. What? I gasped desperately, trying to crane my neck to see what had him looking so utterly confused and concerned. He glanced up at me nervously, then back down, squinting hard through his thick glasses. Ma'am, this is going to sound absolutely strange, but did anyone mention twins during any of your prenatal appointments? My entire world stopped spinning completely. What do you mean twins? All my ultrasounds never showed any twins anywhere. My husband Mike shot up from his chair like he'd been electrocuted. Are you seriously saying there's another baby still in there? The young nurse standing next to the doctor started giggling uncontrollably, which seemed completely inappropriate for what felt like a genuine medical emergency. Doctor, I really think you need to look much closer. He bent down again, carefully adjusting his glasses, and his face went from totally confused to completely bright red. Oh my god, I'm so incredibly sorry about this confusion. It's definitely not a second baby at all. Then what the hell is it? Mike demanded frantically, his voice cracking with pure panic and confusion. The doctor cleared his throat awkwardly, looking more embarrassed than I'd ever seen any medical professional look in my entire life. Your son was apparently born holding something small in his hand. We initially thought it was another baby foot at first glance. He carefully lifted my baby, who was clutching something tiny and bright red in his impossibly small fist. The exact same red Hot Wheels car I'd been obsessively squeezing during painful contractions for the past hour to distract myself from the overwhelming pain. He somehow grabbed it on the way out, the nurse explained, still trying not to burst into laughter. It must have fallen onto the bed when you were pushing really hard, and somehow he just snatched it up deliberately. I stared at my newborn son in complete and utter disbelief. This determined little guy was absolutely refusing to let go of his very first earthly possession. The doctor tried gently prying open his tiny fingers, but the baby just gripped that toy car even tighter with surprising strength. He's got an incredibly strong grip for such a newborn, the doctor said, shaking his head in pure amazement. In 30 years of countless deliveries, I've honestly never seen anything remotely like this. Babies are born with basic reflexes, but this seems almost completely intentional. Mike started laughing so hard he had to sit back down in his chair. Our son's very first words are definitely going to be vroom vroom, aren't they? Even I couldn't help cracking up through my complete exhaustion and overwhelming relief. Aflo has poiped through some begetting. Babies are born with barks. After all that genuine terror and panic, thinking something was seriously medically wrong, the big mysterious emergency was just my kid being born absolutely ready to play with cars. The nurses crowded around excitedly to get pictures because they'd never witnessed anything like it either. My baby was perfectly healthy, just incredibly determined to keep his new favorite toy forever. I've delivered over 3,000 babies, the doctor said, washing his hands thoroughly. This is definitely going in my top 10 most memorable births ever. They cleaned him up carefully while he still clutched that little red car like his life depended on it. Every time someone tried to take it away, even just to clean his hand properly, he'd start crying loudly until they gave it back immediately. Looks like we know what his favorite Christmas present is going to be for the next several years, the head nurse said, swaddling him carefully around the toy. The pediatrician who came to check him later was equally amazed by the situation. Most babies don't develop the coordination to grab and hold objects deliberately until they're several months old, she explained professionally. This is genuinely remarkable and unusual. 6 months later, that same beaten-up red Hot Wheels car remains his absolute favorite thing in the entire world. He sleeps with it every single night, eats while holding it tightly, and throws massive tantrums if anyone tries to take it away even briefly.